Hello everybody, in today's video we'll be checking out a new 3x3, well it's sort of new, from Chi called the Sail 3x3 6.0, which means it's a 6 centimeter one, so it's a little bit bigger than your average 3x3, a tiny bit smaller than your average 4x4, and definitely not as big as the giant sail that I have as well that I'll be showing a size comparison to. Anyways, let's go ahead and open this thing up. Comes with a pamphlet. This is what the pamphlet looks like. The other side is exactly the same, it's just in another language. Alright, so let's open this thing up, and yeah, definitely right away in the hands feels bigger than your average 3x3. Alright, so I know how this one feels. This one is really good. Even though it's really big, I can still get a 15-second average on this thing. Alright, on this one, let's just go ahead with first turns. Oh. Gonna need some lube. Oh, wow. Okay. So it's, in all honesty, it definitely does feel the same as this one, and as far as like the type of, plastic, the quality, everything. It just feels like a smaller version because I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is. Definitely getting a little bit faster now. Sometimes right out of the box, the lube is kind of stuck between pieces. You just need a little bit of friction to get them apart. Everything performs really nice. All right, so this is it next to the average 3x3. So it is a little bit bigger, as you can see. And this is it next to a 4x4. And as you can see, the 60 millimeter 3x3 definitely is about 2 millimeters less than the average 4x4, which is a 62 millimeter 4x4. But yeah, so far, I mean, corner cutting, everything feels exactly the same. Doesn't corner cut quite 45. Does this one? Not really. But yeah, I mean, I don't need them to cut 45. It is nice when they can do that, for sure. Like, basically when you can just, cut it any way at any point. But yeah, it definitely feels exactly like the bigger one, just a smaller version of it. And there's even just a regular size version of this too, which I don't have to compare it to. But I already showed you it next to a regular 3x3. So anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and show you the pieces, next two matching pieces of the big one too, just to make sure that they're exactly the same. And then I'll do some solves on it, and then I'll come back. So there's not much difference on the edge pieces here. There's a little bit when it comes to rounding things. Like if you look at the top of the torpedo, the left one's round, the right one's more square, but the right one's also bigger. The corner pieces look exactly the same, except for the smaller one has those little ridges to create less friction, whereas the big one doesn't. That's the only difference I've seen between those pieces. But the way that the edges and the corner sit together on both puzzles are exactly the same. Like, it's basically exactly the same puzzle. It looks the same on the outside too when it's put together. Like the Florian holes are the same, you can see right here as it comes around. Like, everything looks the same, all the shades are the same, it feels the same, it reacts the same, and it's basically just a smaller version of the big one and a bigger version of the smaller one. It's a medium one. I mean, we saw that with the Diane Zanchi years ago too, when they did different sizes of that and stuff. Why they chose the Sail to do it, I'm not sure, but it is pretty cool to have a decent speed cube that's really big. I find that when I use the bigger puzzles as well as practice, when I get down and go back to my main, which is a smaller puzzle, I actually am a little bit faster for a little bit, because it's almost like a drummer who's practicing using the kick drum and he puts ankle weights on and then he takes them off for the show, because now it's super easy. The same goes for me, at least, when I use a bigger puzzle like this and then go back to my main. It just feels easier to solve on the smaller puzzle. So when I took this out of the wrapper and I did my first turns, like a T perm and then the H perm, you could see that it was locking up, and I was a little bit taken back from that. I didn't really have too much high hopes that this thing was going to be as good as the big one, but then I realized it's the exact same puzzle and it's just coming out of the box. It just needs a bit of breaking in, because you got to realize that when they make these puzzles, I mean, they're factory workers and they're just kind of slapping them together really fast, doing a really quick lube job. So a lot of the lube might be in one area of the puzzle compared to the other area of the puzzle. So you do have to, break it in. And during the break-in process of this, which wasn't long, it was literally like maybe 50 solves, it really opened up. The lube worked itself around. The friction heated it up, which, thinned out the lube a little bit, and it just opened up. So now it's just as good as the big one. It's definitely not going to be my main. I don't get my average with this. I'm about 1 second slower with this puzzle, but still, it's really cool for the fact that when I solve with this and go to my main, it's almost like a breeze to just solve with my main. Anyways, guys, I really like this puzzle. Thanks for watching. Alright everybody, so I've been playing with this thing all day, and I get some really good times on it. I get about a 15-second average on it, just like I do this one here. I can get faster solves on it, but on average, if I was doing an average of 12, I'm definitely getting 15 seconds, whereas on like my main cube, I can more often than not now get a 14-second average. So it's not up to par. Definitely not going to be my main, obviously. One, because I don't really like the size of it because I'm so used to solving with just standard size 3x3s. But like this one here, I like solving on this because it is bigger. It's a novelty. It's kind of cool that we've got a big speed cube that actually performs really, really well. And now we've just got a little bit of a bigger one, which is also really cool. So I can't say anything bad about this puzzle besides the fact that it won't be my main, but it's still a really good puzzle, and it's only $5 on the Cubicle.us, and it weighs 107.5 grams. And if you don't like the stickers on here, you can get custom stickers from the Cubicle's sticker shop. They're fitted stickers for this, and you just look for the 3x3 60mm sale stickers, and you'll find that. Anyways, guys, if you'd like this based on this review, the link's at the top of the description. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on my next video.